Hello anyone. So welcome to part 2 of the benchtop anvil. This is where I'm gonna prep all the surfaces, 5 of the 6 at least at this point. I'm probably gonna scrape first, give it a good wire wheeling, wipe everything down with the old trusty brake clean. And then depending on how the surface looks, I may hit it with a little bit of maybe a fine grit sandpaper to shine her up a little. But that's going to be this process. So you'll see me do the 4 sides, and then when I get to the top, I'm actually going to bring in a couple of different files. I've got a flat bastard, not fat, flat, like flat, and then my smooth, which is not in the best shape, but she still cuts. So we're gonna switch over to a high speed process, but you'll see me probably break the edge on the sides, scrape, brush, wipe everything down, and then we'll take a look at the surface. All right. It's actually a pretty good finish. It's not too bad. Not too bad at all. I just want to break that edge a bit. Felt like a new blade on that bandsaw when they cut it. That's for sure. I don't know if you can, how well you can see that on there. Try to, I don't know if you can zoom in. You can see some of the scale on there. Now when I heat this up, all that's history. It's gonna flake right off. So that's fine. I just want to get it to a little bit of a cleaner state. So I think we've accomplished that. Yeah, real nice. Happy with how it's turning out, that's for sure. Oh, jeepers. check that out. You can see that. Yeah, really cool. See, that's the kind of stuff I really like about this idea. Shmoo. The guys that make this and melt this and stuff, they're awesome. Really good bunch of guys. You know, American, high grade American steel, there's nothing like it. You know, there's a reason it's so expensive. You know, believe it or not, you know, if you can picture this almost being made like Play-Doh. So this big chunk, you know, it's being spit out of this huge contraption just as long as you want, and they cut it into whatever lengths, you know, 20, 30 feet, 40 feet, whatever lengths you need. And then from that, they would roll this, process this down to wire of any size, bar, any size, you know. But this is cool. You know, if I can keep a lot of these features, you know, some of that texture on the sides, while still turning it into an anvil, man, that'd be awesome. That's the goal here. I've never done anything like this, so, you know, who knows if it's gonna work. I'm willing to try though. So now that I've got the sides cleaned up and, you know, as much of the loose scale on the outside as I could cleaned up, I'm gonna wipe it down with the old brake clean just to kind of clean up the sides, and then show you what I want to do on the top here. So let's slide this over. Okay, one way, let's see, yeah, okay. So, what do we got? Do you know these red rags are free from most of the places I work at? Not really, but they're free for me. Alright. That's it. Alright. Looks good. Looks good. So now for the top. Let's see. What? There we go. What I want to do is I'm going to start with the bastard. As flat as I can. I just want to knock those real high spots down. So start with the flat bastard, take down as much as I can, and then when I'm close to the end, I'll switch over to the smooth and finish out any of the high spots left. And then depending on how crazy I want to get with it today, I'll decide if I want to go right to the... I'm probably going to be doing sanding blocks on here or something to try to get it pretty smooth. So For now, just a file. And yes, this is actually the only file for this style that I could find was this size on hand, but whatever. If it cuts, it cuts. I don't normally have a larger size of the bastard because, well, she is a bastard. She'll cut. You know what? Ah, much nicer. Those little furniture movers. Who knew? I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can pick this up. Let's see if I can. I don't know if you could see that, but the reason I'm spinning it is so I can easily see where I've been on this particular pass. So if I, in this orientation, if I start in this corner and I work my way, all of the cuts are lined up this way, and the way the light hits it, I don't know if that's picking up on the camera, but anyway, the way the light hits it, I can actually see my recent cut. So if I spin it, start in the same corner, and move in a similar pattern, I can actually see where I've been. So when I first, where is it? This square is actually junk. Actually, it's actually on its way back to the store right now, but for this purpose, it's good enough. It's actually nice and square to the sides all the way around, and I don't really want to mess with that. So if I can keep that squareness, I'd really appreciate it. So that's the goal here. So I know I don't probably have to be as crazy about this as I am, but anything I can do further along to help myself now is what I'm going for. Uh-oh. Now I forgot which way I was spinning it. Counterclockwise. Okay, let's go. far from smooth. Alright, so I was done with the smooth file. I hit it with some cheap 220 grit sandpaper just to take some of the shine off, but I'm down to the last little, or I should say the deepest cut with the bandsaw. You can see that there. That's some sort of a defect. I don't think it's a pit. Maybe some kind of a slag right there. And then I've got some overzealous file cuts. So depending on how the light hits it, you can see. So what I'm gonna do now is I've got a little block of wood and some sandpaper, and I'm just gonna finish it out the rest of the way like that until it's, I don't know, maybe I'll go a mirror finish and see what happens. But yeah, just about done, just about down to a surface that, you know, won't leave any marks in the work being done. So from this point forward, it's just going to be basically sandpaper. I'll do a quick cleanup and then we'll get the show on the road. Some of the material removed. Just some of it. It's almost like a clay. Pretty wild. Okay, so if you're dumb enough, everything's a learning experience, and today, my friends, I'm learning. So let's see, that blemish that I thought was maybe just a small inclusion is actually quite a deep pit. I gave it the old Bruce Lee test here, the tip of a pin. Let me just see if I can. Oh yeah. So she's got a nice shine to her, except that that pinhole there is pretty deep. So unfortunately what that means at this point is that I'm actually going to flip it over and work the other side. What happened was, and I could see on this side there's something similar. I don't know if I can zoom in. You can see right there, it's another pit. So you know, I'm wondering if maybe this doesn't run all the way through, smack dab in the center. But it's not going to stop me. What I'm going to do is, well, I'm actually going to do the same process again. I'm probably going to cheat this time. Something I hadn't done before and I kind of wanted to was a spark test. I know this has carbon in it. I didn't get it like an exact, you know, there's a ton of different, there's a ton of different types of steel, iron, everything. So not iron, but just steel alloy, you know. So I don't know what the carbon content of this is, but just a spark test will give us a better idea of what to expect when we go to harden. I am gonna probably not do this side by hand. I've got a tool I can use. Nothing crazy. I don't want to go with a grinding disc or anything like that. I've got these smoothing wheels. We call them flapper wheels or whatever. I don't know. But I'm probably just going to take the majority of it off with that. And then I also don't want to, I want to be relatively flat and square to my side. So I don't want to get too carried away with the power tools on this. And hopefully working it from this side, that pit maybe gets a little smaller, or comes out all together on this side. But at least I have two surfaces to choose from. The other side, if it ends up being the better surface, I'll just go with it. Otherwise, I'm hoping this side actually works out a little better. So since the video is getting pretty long at this point, I'm actually going to make it a two-part. Part 2 of the Anvil build will be a two-part video. So I think part 2 is going to start with me working this side and hopefully avoiding the pitfalls. And again, this is all new for me, so I don't know how critical a small pit like that would be. When I was filing the other side, I actually filed it over, so it was a lot smaller when I was sanding, but when I noticed it and started to kind of pick away at it, it opened up quite a bit. So that's it for part 1 of part 2 for the Anvil build. Hey, thanks for hanging.